Daniel Suarez, Zane Smith, and Erik Amarola sign contract extensions. Craftsman is back as the title sponsor of the Truck Series. And Alex Bowman's crew chief announces his retirement from crew chiefing. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove Friday night edition. It's Daytona weekend, Xfinity Cup racing. There's a ton of action on track expected this weekend, but there's also been already a ton of announcements. That is what we're going to react to today. First, we just released a new episode of my new podcast, Zoom Lens, where I, as well as my co-host Josh Mull, watch, react to, and review famous racing movies. This latest episode is on The Last American Hero, and we invited our friend Ben White, NASCAR historian, to review the movie along with us. I hope you guys give it a listen. That link is down in the description below. But on that note, let's start talking about some of these many major announcements. Where do I begin? Let's start with the Craftsman news. The Craftsman Truck Series is back. Craftsman Tools used to be the title sponsor of the Truck Series, going all the way back to the Truck Series inaugural season in 1995. From 1995 to, I believe, 2008, the series was known as the Craftsman Truck Series. A couple months ago, it was confirmed that Camping World would be stepping down at the end of this season. Early reports and rumors said that Craftsman was in the running to once again take on title ownership. And lo and behold, those reports were in fact true. Today, NASCAR unveiled at Daytona the all-new Craftsman Truck Series logo, and boy, the red just looks exactly right. I don't know what it is. The red, it's just aggressive. Like, when a bull sees something red, it gets angry. And the way a lot of these drivers in trucks race the last couple of years, they race like bulls in a china shop sometimes. So I think it's fitting. I like it. I love it. Give me more. Craftsman Tools, it's worth noting, is a brand underneath the Stanley DeWalt Tools umbrella. Stanley DeWalt, Irwin Tools have still been very active in the Cup Series, sponsoring Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. And even Craftsman, the Craftsman brand, has been on Hailie Deegan's truck for a number of races this year. So that company, that group, that brand has still been very much around and in NASCAR for the past few years, but they have not been the title sponsors of the Truck Series for more than a decade. But they're back. Nature is healing. I don't know. I'm a big fan. Looks great. Excited to see the Craftsman Truck Series in 2023. Crazy, crazy stuff. Let's see. Before we get to some driver announcements, let's talk about a crew chief announcement. Alex Bowman's crew chief, Greg Ives, I think surprised a lot of people, surprised me this morning when he put out a statement announcing his retirement from crew chiefing. Here was Greg Ives' statement. After 17 seasons on the road and making countless memories, I've decided to step away as a crew chief at the end of 2022. There are many reasons, but the most important one is the chance to focus on my family and spend more time with our kids as they grow up. Leading the number 48 has been one of the great privileges of my life, and I'm excited to go into the playoffs and chase a championship with Alex and this incredible group of people. I'm also looking forward to the next step in my career, which will be here with my Hendrick Motorsports family. I'll never have the words to properly express how grateful I am to be able to live out my dream of working and racing, or properly thank everyone who has supported me along the way. Thank you for everything. Some surprising news there. I only say surprising because Greg Ives has only been a full-time Cup Series crew chief since 2015. He's 42 years old, which to me is not super duper old for a crew chief. But it sounds like he's not going anywhere. He'll still be working deep within the bowels of Hendrick Motorsports. We just won't see him on the road nearly as frequently, which perfectly understandable. NASCAR has a rigorous year-long schedule. I don't know exactly what to make of Greg Ives as a crew chief. I feel like many 48, 88 fans have long had kind of a love-hate relationship with him. I was never like a big Dale Jr. fan or a big Alex Bowman fan, so I wasn't listening to their radio exclusively every week, tracking what kind of adjustments they made to the cars, how it affected them during the run. So I'm not the most qualified person to speak to Greg Ives' effectiveness atop the pit box. What I can do is look at the stats. Greg Ives did win the Xfinity title with Chase Elliott back in 2014, and then went to Cup with Dale Jr. in 2015 and immediately won 3 races. So Ives got off to a pretty hot start, I'd say. Obviously, the last couple years with Dale Jr. didn't go great, went winless in 2016 and 2017. Then Alex Bowman joined the club full-time in 2018. He's been with Bowman ever since he took over that 88 full-time, and now since he's gone over to the 48. Last year, they won 4 races together, and this year, they got that win early in the season. They're in the playoffs. I think Greg Ives is solid. You look at his resume, he's got an Xfinity championship. He's going to be in the playoffs once again this year with Bowman. He's won 10 races as a Cup Series crew chief. Yes, he's working with Hendrick Motorsports equipment and personnel, so you expect results. I don't know. I don't know where to fall on Greg Ives. I think he's a solid crew chief. We'll see who Alex Bowman gets as a replacement next year, because next year is a very, very important season. 2023 is Alex Bowman's last year on his current contract. It's also Ally's last year of their major sponsorship deal. So whoever Hendrick Motorsports and Alex Bowman choose to be the crew chief of the 48 next year, they better know what they're doing, because there is a lot at stake, in my opinion. So fingers crossed for Alex Bowman fans that things work out, but some surprising news. Greg Ives announcing that this will be his final season as a NASCAR Cup Series crew chief. Now let's talk about some driver announcements. Earlier this week, Zane Smith announced that he will be back in the 38 truck next year for Front Row Motorsports. This year, he's had a tremendous season. He's won 3 races, which is tied for the most in the series this year. He's still in the playoffs, poised to make a deep playoff run this year. He'll be back. We now know that. He also confirmed that he's going to make a few Cup Series starts next year. He plans on making 5 Cup starts. He doesn't know for what team yet. He says they will begin with the Daytona 500, but the other races are still to be determined. I also watched a clip from reporter Dustin Albino where Zane Smith told Dustin that he's under contract with Front Row, or in other words, Front Row has control of Zane Smith's options through 2026. Which was kind of surprising to hear. We knew Zane Smith was now part of the Ford development program, but he's kind of locked up with Ford for the next several years, it sounds like. Zane Smith is 23 years old. He's still very young, but I think many would say he is one of the hottest prospects in the lower series right now. I'm a big Zane Smith fan. I think he has a great shot at winning the championship in trucks this year. I think he'll be one of the favorites next year. I hope he makes a handful of Cup Series starts. Remember, last year, around this time, maybe a little before, maybe a little over a year ago, Zane Smith reportedly had a deal done to drive for Chip Ganassi in Cup. Obviously, that fell apart when Ganassi was sold to Trackhouse. Zane Smith ended up in this Truck Series ride, and he's done great this year. But the point is, Zane Smith is highly thought of in the NASCAR garage. I hope Front Row and Ford don't squander this opportunity. I think they have, I'm not going to say he's a diamond necessarily, but he's at least a gem. They got a gem in their collection, and I hope they support him properly over the next few years. So excited for Zane Smith. Run it back. He's going to have a great shot at the title this year, and likely next year in the Craftsman Truck Series. I know I'm talking really fast, but we've just got a ton of news to get to, and it's already been a really busy weekend. Next driver announcement, to no one's surprise, Trackhouse confirmed today that Daniel Suarez will return to the team next year. They've agreed on a contract extension that will keep Suarez in the 99. I couldn't find any terms disclosed anywhere. Like, they didn't call this a multi-year deal. It could just be a one-year deal, a short-term extension, which, I mean, to me, that's a little surprising. I would assume they'd be locking Suarez up for the long haul. Like, Trackhouse was built around Daniel Suarez. A pit bull came in because of that Daniel Suarez connection. CommScope/Eris, major sponsor, Daniel Suarez. Coca-Cola, major sponsor, Daniel Suarez. Like, he's bringing a lot to that team in terms of investment, in terms of sponsorship, so I'm a little surprised. If this isn't a long-term deal, I'm a little surprised. I'll pump the brakes for now. I'm not surprised that Suarez will return to that car next year. He's had a breakout season, won his first race, he's made the playoffs for the first time. Trackhouse all around has been tremendous this season. Why would you want to make any major changes at this point? Things are finally starting to click and work. Daniel Suarez is 30 years old. History says that he's entering the prime of his racing career. Trackhouse has emerged as a competitive team, so I think this is good for Suarez, and Suarez has had a good year this season. I think this is good for Trackhouse, especially considering all the sponsorship that's linked to him. So to me, this has been a very mutually beneficial pairing, and I expect it to continue for many, many more years. I guess 2023 had to check that box off first. We now know he will be back for sure next season. One final driver announcement I want to talk about. Let's wrap this show up by talking about Erik Amarola. About a week ago, Jim Utter at motorsport.com reported that Erik Amarola would postpone his retirement. He was coming back to the 10 car for one more season with Smithfield as the primary sponsor. The next day, Amarola said, whoa, hey, I haven't signed anything for next year yet. Fast forward now to today. Erik Amarola and Stewart-Haas Racing confirmed that yes, Amarola will be back in the 10 car next year. One detail though that's different from that initial report. It's not a one-year deal, no. Amarola and the team confirmed today it is a multi-year deal. At least 2 more years Erik Amarola will race in that 10 car. And he made noises like he's planning to race beyond 2023. So whoa, Amarola went from retiring in January to here in August, I'm gonna race for like maybe 3 more years, maybe more. what a turn of events. He cited a few different things. Back in January, Amarola cited, wanting to spend more time with his family as the reason why he's stepping away from full-time racing. Today, he once again cited his family, but said that over the past few months, he's been able to strike a better work-life balance. He mentioned that his family, wife and kids, have been to most of the races this season and says that by the end of the year, they'll probably have been to 28 out of, I guess, the 38 NASCAR Cup Series weekends. Wow. He's been able to bring his family on this journey with him. The way he made it sound in his press conference today, they've been very supportive of him this year and his decision to return. As supportive, however, as Amarola's family may be, no one, and I mean no one, is as supportive of Erik Amarola than Smithfield. Because today, Amarola confirmed that Smithfield not only is coming back as a primary sponsor, they're upping their involvement. They are increasing their investment. They will have more primary schemes this year than any year since 2018. They are increasing their investment into Amarola, NASCAR, and Stewart-Haas Racing. So that, to me, that was really the deciding blow here. When Amarola announced his retirement in January, part of it for sure was the family connections, tough schedule, being on the road so much, wanted to spend time with his kids when they're still young. But another key part of that was knowing that Smithfield hadn't made up their mind on 2023 and beyond. Not having that commitment from your main primary sponsor likely made that retirement decision a bit easier. But as the year went on, according to Amarola, Smithfield showed an interest in coming back and being a major part of the team for the long term, and that's when Amarola began to rethink his situation. That's pretty cool that Smithfield has this guy's back in a way that few sponsors support their drivers these days. There are very few major driver sponsor pairings like Denny Hamlin and FedEx. That's one of the few. Hendrick Cars on Kyle Larson, of course. Napa sponsors a lot of Chase Elliott races, but not every single one. Ally, I guess Ally's big. The point is I could count them on my fingers. So, I mean, pretty cool that Smithfield is this committed to Amarola. It just goes to show you, driving the race car fast is the most important aspect of the job. Amarola's won 3 races. He's made the playoffs every year except maybe this year since joining SHR, and he still has one more race to make that happen. So he's been fine, he's been solid. But almost as important is a driver's ability to not only attract major sponsors, but then retain them. Form a personal connection with the CEOs, with the marketing team, with that company, with everyone in power over there, and cultivate that relationship over a number of years. Smithfield's been with Amarola for 10 years, and according to everything I could look up, there's no deep family ties there. That's just a relationship he's built over time, and they like him, he likes them, and they're investing in him. It's a very natural partnership from what I can tell, and Amarola deserves a ton of credit for that. I think that's why he's valuable to Smithfield. He's a good driver, good chance to get you in the playoffs almost every year, but more than anything, he brings that funding. He brings that support, and like it or not, that's what's needed at the top level of NASCAR these days, a healthy balance of both. I can't hate on Erik Amarola for that. Is he the hottest driver in the Cup Series? Is he the best or most talented? No, he's not. He's fine. He's solid. He's not going to get you into too much trouble. But he brings loyal support from a major bacon brand, food brand. I don't know. There's not a lot of drivers that have that influence, who have that power. I'm happy for Erik Amarola that he's going to keep racing for a couple of years. Looking at the bigger picture of silly season, obviously now Kyle Busch isn't going to the 10 car, we know that for sure. Not going to rule out SHR entirely, but it sounds like other teams, perhaps Chevrolet, has maybe stepped up as the clear frontrunner to land Kyle Busch. We'll wait and see. Another week goes by, another week of wild Kyle Busch rumors. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future uploads. We talk NASCAR news almost every single day here on Out of the Groove. And as always, an extra special thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. We'll be back again later this weekend. We'll be reacting to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, the Daytona Cup regular season finale, whatever it's called this year. Coke always sponsors or has for a long time, whatever it's called. Anyway, can't wait. Gonna be fun. Thanks for watching, y'all.